Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I'm going to be talking about the second week in November 8th through the 14th. Things are heating up. Things are getting intense. Get ready and hear what this week will provide for all of us. Now, remember, everything I'm doing here is based on where the moon is moving, what's happening relative to where the moon is. And I am in Dallas, Texas, so I'm basing this on Central Time, so adjust all your clocks accordingly. But I'm going to be giving you the lowdown of what to expect every day. And I'd love for you in the comments down below to tell me where you are watching from. And remember, adjust your clocks. So this is an incredible week. Things are really heating up here. We've got so many things happening with Mercury Retrograde and Mars in Scorpio. Let's see what it means for our world. So I'm starting with November 8th. I love this day. You want to know why? It's my birthday. So November 8th is a Saturday, and I will be celebrating because it's a big milestone birthday for me. Anyway, on this day, I'm looking at the moon being in Gemini, and it is in the nakshatra Ardra. Now, Ardra's not a very cool nakshatra, actually, in many respects, because it does represent a sadness. But the moon being in Gemini, it's a time when people really want to commune, talk, relate to each other. Gemini is all about communications. That's what this day is going to give us. And what I do find is Jupiter being second from the moon, this really has a lot to do with finances, gains, financial gains in the world. Things are coming up in the world, but Mars is in Scorpio, and this makes people much more passionate than normal. And if you'll notice, the Sun and Rahu are in a perfect trine. And I think this is going to really make some big shifts in the economy. There's going to be like such volatility with ups and downs, but I will say that this predicts that there will be ups, even if there are some downs, some major ups. This is major gains in the markets, in the economy, in the world. Things are shifting financially at all cost, everywhere. Everyone is noticing this big shift. So looking at this, you know, from the moon, Venus and the Sun are in the 5th house. This is a time of creative abilities. Put it out there, be more creative. But I'll tell you something, that Mars, Mercury are contentious together. It's in the 6th from the moon. So people are more contentious. They're not real happy with what's going on globally, even though I think there's just a redistribution in a crazy way financially. There's going to be some major shifts. All right, so let me go ahead and change it to the next day. All right, November 9th. This is a Sunday. The moon is still in Gemini, dealing with communications and coming together. It's a good time financially because Jupiter's second from the moon again. But now the moon is in the nakshatra called Purnavasu, which means return of the light. And that is nothing but revivals of things, good things happening in the world. We're going to see that this is positive changes, even though people are a little bit testy in the world, because we are talking about Mercury today turns retrograde. Yes, this is November 9th. And Mercury, Mars being together in Scorpio mean people are not in agreement with most things. People are complaining, they're fighting, they're in emotional discord. Even though I know things are working out well with stocks and banks and finances, things are going, it's extreme, it's up, it's down, but it is improving. Okay, now I'm looking at November 10th. This is a Monday, and I like this day because the moon comes together with Jupiter in the sign of Cancer, and the moon will be in Pusha. Pusha is the nourisher, the nakshatra that gives nourishment and healing. So with Jupiter, this is a positive thing coming about. The world is in a good place today. People are happy. People are feeling a sense of prosperity and wholeness, I think. Even though the moon will be opposed Pluto, which deals with emotional intensity, but with Mercury being retrograde, it just turned retrograde on the 9th, so today it is fully retrograde, and that means everything's going crazy. People are going haywire. People are not in agreement with it being so close to Mars. Mars and Mercury are actually just a few degrees away from each other. Deals with attacks, fighting, nothing being congruent with this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. But Jupiter is in a nice trine with Saturn to these two planets. So good things are going to come out of this contesting and this fighting. I have to believe that's true. I know it's true. And even with the Mercury Mars, they do go to the 5th house. So it is a time of looking into your investments and what they're all about, reestablishing them, and maybe even starting to look at investing yourself. The Venus, Sun are in the 4th house. It's a good day to reorganize your home, to make it more beautiful, decorate, buy things of beauty, to make your home more appealing to spend time in. Yes. All right. So now I'm looking at November 11th. And this is an important day. You know why? Jupiter turns retrograde today. This intensifies everything with Jupiter. It's in the nakshatra Purnavasu, which deals with return of the light. This is like prosperity is returning, even though we do have a Mercury retrograde and people are not thinking clearly during this time. And yeah, right around the time Mercury goes retrograde, which is the 9th, 10th, and the 11th, be aware that traveling will be hectic, out of control, and possibly major delays with traveling. But this moon today will be in the nakshatra Astrology. And Astrology is sneaky. It can deal with people trying to manipulate you to do things you didn't plan on doing. So be cognizant and be aware. People are tricky and not in their right minds, especially with Mercury being retrograde. Yes, retrograde. But it is a time that you can make your house more beautiful with Venus being where it is in Libra. Now I'm looking at November 12th. This is a Wednesday, and the moon is now in Leo, and it's in the nakshatra Magha. Magha deals with heritage, our family lines, our bloodlines. This is a day that you give homage to your ancestors, if I could say. So pay attention to that. The moon being in Leo is very captivating. We feel more like expressing ourselves with it being in Leo. And coming from the heart energy, that is the Leo. And where the fixed star, the moon, will cross over is Regulus. The heart of the lion deals with loyalty, and it deals with a strong, good-hearted sense of who we are. Now, I want to say that the November 12th, yes, Mercury does exactly conjunct Mars today while it is retrograde. And so look out, because November 12th is going to be the day of the most contention. Most people arguing. Don't try to pick a fight with anyone. It will get contentious and nasty and dirty. So lay low. Do not try to fight with others, or even though you will be angered by things, just keep your peace and don't be contentious, because that's what you're going to feel like doing all day today. You're going to see the world is in an uproar. People are angry about things. There's fighting, corruption, craziness. And you know, this Mars Mercury does go to the 4th house from the moon, representing disruption in our home lives, in our sense of peace at home. Our security is threatened during this time. Be aware, be cognizant, do not participate adding fuel to the fire. Now I'm looking at November 13th, because this is a Thursday. We still got that Mars, Mercury. I mean, people are at odds with one another. But the moon does come up to the nakshatra Purva Falguni in Leo. So it's in Leo all day, but Purva Falguni is the marriage nakshatra. So the worst thing you want to do is pick a fight with your partner. Especially since the moon is coming together with K2 today. That represents a sense of deep losses. And with the Mercury Mars being in the 4th house from the moon, our sense of security is threatened during this time. We feel like everyone's at odds and they're fighting. Especially with this Mercury retrograde, it's bringing up a lot of old things that need to be healed, worked on, and brought together. This is not easy. Things are getting out of control here. And yeah, and people are very, very upset about what's happening around the world. There's a sense of loss. Now I'm looking at Friday, November 14th. The moon and K2 have already crossed, the moon's already crossed over K2, but during this day, so it is a deep introspective day. There can be a sense of loss. And still, there's not a sense of peace or security with the Mercury Mars being in Scorpio, I mean. And let me just say this, that on this day, the moon will, towards the late evening, it's going to change into Virgo. But most of the day, it is in Leo. And this is already, I've completed the 2nd week of November 14th. So this has been a really hairy week with Mercury, with Mars retrograde, and the discord, the social unrest that is really dominating the airs and the airways of our world. So take it easy, lay low, and remember, if you want all of this information delivered to your email address, sign up for my free newsletter. Go to galacticcenter.org. And if you want to know how this affects you on a very personal level, get my planner. Go to galacticplanner.com and you will get all of this personalized for your chart. Live and be guided by the stars, okay? And if you want to learn Vedic astrology, don't forget my school. It is the best school out there, all online, self-paced. You can join anytime. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.